Good evening, everyone. My name is Harry Schlang, and I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for the town. And it's my honor to welcome you all to the second Mayor Jordan Information Night. Firstly, we'd like to thank all of the residents who submitted their questions to the Mayor through the events project page on Let's Talk Grimsby's website. The residents were able to submit their questions from May 20th to June 7th, and the Mayor received lots of interesting and thoughtful entries. Now we're happy to introduce you to the two individuals who will be hearing from tonight, Mayor Jordan and our Master of Ceremonies, Susan Manuel. As many of you know, Mayor Jordan was sworn into office December 3rd, 2018, and has since been working very hard with council and town staff to fulfill many of our strategic council priorities. After the last successful event in 2019, we know that Mayor Jordan is very pleased to be hosting another night to answer questions from the public regarding town projects and initiatives. We'd also like to introduce Master of Ceremonies for the evening, Suzanne Manuel. Susan is a valued member of our Grimsby community who is actively involved with the town through many initiatives. Susan is a member of the Grimsby Economic Development Advisory Committee and is currently the project coordinator for the town's first business retention and expansion initiative. Mayor Jordan, Susan, we'd like to welcome you both for tonight's event. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mayor Jordan.
Thank you, CAO. Go ahead, Susan. No. Oh, okay. I'd just like to welcome everyone tonight at the second Mayor's Information Night. A little bit different than the first one. It's virtual, and I don't like virtual. I'd like to see everyone in person, but hopefully the next one will be in person. So I just want to say, as a council, we're 2.5 years through our mandate, and we have achieved a number of things. And even though there's been disagreements at times, we have really done a great job of getting things done. We're looking at shovel going in the ground in the hospital a little less than a year from now. We're looking for a GO station to be developed quite soon. We've had shoreline improvements, number of recreation programs done around town. So it's just been a busy 2.5 years, interrupted a little bit by COVID, but we're still getting things done in spite of that. So without further ado, Susan, take her away.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Jordan. Shall we get started? Our first question is an environmental topic. Will council consider installing green bins and recycling containers in our public spaces in order to align with the town's environmental strategic priority?
As I think the public knows, environmental protection was definitely a key priority of our council over this term. And actually at one of our April meetings, council unanimously passed a resolution to join the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and ICLEI, Canada Partners for Climate Protection Program. The Partner for Climate Protection Program has been designed to support municipal government commitments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions at both the corporate and the community level. And as such, implementing town initiatives that support environmental protection is definitely a priority. As far as going to green bins, that's something we certainly would like to move forward. We have put recycling receptacles in many locations in town, and the green bins would be a nice way to complement that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. Question 2 is on local businesses. What is council doing to support stores on Main Street, given that they have been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, council has certainly been working hard with other levels of government because COVID's been such a top-down regulatory event. It's been hard for the municipal government to actually do much more than following rules. We have certainly done our best to guide businesses to both the provincial and the federal initiatives. And another thing that Grimsby Economic Development Corporation has launched is the Business Retention and Expansion Initiative. And it's BR&E is what it's called. And this is to identify opportunities to help local businesses grow, create jobs, and stay in Grimsby. This is done by building and improving relationships with existing businesses, understanding and addressing immediate concerns of local businesses, that what they've faced as a result of COVID-19. And as I said before, connecting businesses with the relevant provincial and federal funding. The outcomes of the BR&E initiative will influence future economic development in Grimsby, both now and in the future. Just another thing about downtown, there seems to be just a buzz downtown. So it has anything that was empty actually prior or very early in the pandemic seems to have been rented out. So just being downtown over the last few weeks quite a bit, it really is becoming vibrant. And also Niagara Region has a recovery fund, economic recovery fund, and the town of Grimsby has partnered for an initiative called Grimsby's Got It. And I brought it here, got the flyer in the mail, and Grimsby's Got It is its objective is to increase customer traffic both downtown and across town, and just educate consumers on the importance of shopping local. It's the local businessmen and local stores that actually provide for Stag and Doe donations, donations for fundraisers for sports teams, dance troops, number of different things. It's really it's that local business that is always there to help out. So this pandemic, one thing it's brought is people out there, out and about, and supporting local. It's been very nice to see the downtown being full. Today down there, even though it was windy, the patios were full. So it's really nice to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. And just to add on to that, it's the Grimsby Got It Scottie Campaign is pretty amazing and is driven by a lot of not only the Chamber and the town of Grimsby, but by a lot of local businesses that have done a really great effort. And I would just call out to all residents that your impact on choosing local is huge to a small community like ours. And I would hope that you would help our neighbors who are very important members of our community at this time, this very difficult time for them. And check out the Grimsby's Got It campaign. And just a very quick mention for the Business Retention and Expansion Program. If there's businesses on this call, please take the survey. We're very sincere about wanting to connect you to resources and working for better working relationships with businesses and the town. And we can only do that from your comments and your participation. So I ask you to consider taking the survey and visit Let's Talk Business on the town website. And now I'll move on to question 3. Thank you. Question 3, does council have any upcoming initiatives to support residents along the lakeside who suffered from property loss due to extreme rains and increasingly high water levels?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this, or I'm glad a resident asked this, because the town has been doing shoreline improvements for a number of years now. We've been trying to utilize the gas tax rebate to effectively repair the shoreline along our road allowances and along our fronts. And one thing that's been really a neat program is the fact that Public Works has reached out with adjacent homeowners and has organized the shoreline improvement to work with neighbors at the same time. So getting neighbors together to share the cost, and neighbors are able to get a much better rate when the town's got the equipment there already. So engaging the neighbors to work together is just a really neat initiative, and it's an initiative that would really be nice to see, not just on Shoreline, but in other areas where something, say, needs to be improved on a municipality. Working together with the adjacent landowners is just a way to get more bang for your buck, and which, coming out of COVID, is a very important thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Question 4 is on the board boundary review. Will council be conducting any additional public engagement regarding the board boundary review, given that the survey hosted on Let's Talk Grimsby received 24 responses?
Well, the ward boundary review, it was awarded to town council, or by town council to Strategy Corp, December 7th, 2020. We had many communication tools used, including the website with the on-demand video, regular posts on Let's Talk Grimsby, the Grimsby project page, and the newsletter, Grimsby's social media site, and there were paid newspaper ads as well. There were 2 public surveys that were open for over 3 weeks. The first round, there was 122 participants, and the second round had 24 participants. There were 5 public meetings held, and most councillors actually attended all 5. And in those public meetings, we didn't have a ton of residents, but we did have quite a few that were very vocal and really were spirited in their debate. As well, council received 3 presentations by Strategy Corp, and council used residents' comments to put their own comments in as well. So I feel really that we really did a good job getting it to the public. It's unfortunate that there wasn't more uptake, but the number of meetings we had, I really do feel that we've done a great job. And to further, this was long overdue. I believe the last one was done in 1993, and it was put off a number of times, but we're really happy that we actually took this and did it and did it effectively, in my opinion. With the Strategy Corps findings, it had to uphold the standards of the Supreme Court with the percentage variations in the 4 wards, and we feel we did a great job of that. And on May 25th, 2021, Council approved option 8, and this maintains 4 wards with 2 councillors per ward, and this will come into effect for the 2022 election. And the bylaw confirming this was adopted on June 7th, and the notice of appeal period will close on July 22nd, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just to call out on that, if you haven't signed up for Let's Talk Grimsby, it's a great tool. I now get notifications of every major key initiative that's going on and all of the opportunities to participate. And I think it's great. I no longer have to keep checking back to see what's happening. If you haven't signed up, please check it out. I think for the ward boundary, it was really quite comprehensive for sure. Thank you. Question 5. There is a difference in how the east side and west side entrances of the town look. Is there any scheduled work to help beautify the east side of Main Street?
With both Main Street East and Main Street West being regional roads at the entrance of town, Niagara Region is the road authority for improvements. And as I sit along with Councillor Furtick on Regional Council, and incidentally, Councillor Furtick is the Assistant Director of Public Works. He is well in tune with the need for redoing both Main Street West and Main Street East, and it is in the forecast for the region to do these road improvements over the next actually 1 to 5 years in the regional capital budget. And I think that this is where we can partner with the region when these capital projects are done to enhance our entrances at both ends to the town of Grimsby. We have, certainly on the west end, I know we have the large road allowance that was left over from the electric railway that was taken out in the late 1930s. So the road allowance is wide there, and I think there is an area on the east end of town where we can make improvement, and I see something like a nice welcome to Grimsby on both ends, a lot like down at the Welcome Center, something along that line. So just without any further, I think both of the entrances do need some work, and the region is on their radar, and Councillor Furtick and myself will continue to make sure the region knows very well about it. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question 6 focuses on traffic concerns. What is the town doing to address the speed of traffic on Main Street West? It is a safety concern of many. And
again, with it being a regional road, the town has been working with the region and the Niagara Regional Police. And there is a Niagara Regional Police region-wide initiative to check for speeding and noise. And that initiative, I can't remember the name right now, but it's something that the regional police, the region, and the town are all involved in, and we realize that speeding is a big problem, and I really do believe it's not just our main streets, it's even side streets as well. So I just think with all the people walking out there and everything, it's just awareness. A lot of people, I think, aren't even sure they're driving as fast as they are. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Question 7. What is the town and council doing to protect Grimsby's heritage amidst the new developments that are currently underway?
Well, I'm glad someone asked this question, because heritage is very near and dear to my heart. We moved from my wife and I and daughter moved from Main Street in a house that was built in 1922. Well, we moved up to Ridge Road to a house that was built in 1826. So we actually went back 96 years in time from one house to the next. And our heritage is something that we should all relish because it is just so important to the fabric of the community. And I think it makes Grimsby what it is, along with the escarpment and the lake. But the heritage is just, I feel it's up there with any town in Southern Ontario. And a significant accomplishment from the Heritage Committee is this past year has been increasing the Heritage Register by over 65%. We've added over 140 properties to the Heritage Register, and this is the first step to actually protecting what we have. And I would even like to see it go further and have a comprehensive tree bylaw that protects heritage trees as well, to go along with the environment, because the Carolinian forest environment is really under threat. And I think information regarding that is something that will tie into heritage nicely. Also, we have a planning study at Grimsby Beach underway now, and that's showing the significant cultural or cultural heritage resources that are within Grimsby Beach. And other notable efforts include recent notice of intention to designated 6 key culturally significant properties within the town. We have created some really neat promotional materials and installation of heritage interpretive plaques. And the town and council continue to prioritize heritage as something that is very important. We want to also explore a Town of Grimsby Cultural Heritage Master Plan, a first ever for our community. And just on another note, it's the this weekend, and I'm sure, I know there's limited attendees allowed, but Nellis Manor, they're celebrating the 155th anniversary of the Fenian raids. And it's a little known skirmish where Fenians from northern Pennsylvania and southern New York actually tried to take over Canada in 1866. So it's I think they're filming it, and so that will be available hopefully on the town's website. So I've probably taken too long on this, but heritage is my passion. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. Thank you for sharing that. Question 8. Lincoln Mayor Sandra Easton committed to investing more in parkland and rejected a recent sale of land to developers, noting that there is strong community support for an expanded park system. Currently, the town of Grimsby is considering the sale of land for development at 240 and 244 to 248 Main Street East, where a zoning application is in play for a high-density home development on open land surrounded by low-density housing. This would be an excellent land purchase for the city to create a significant park space for the enjoyment of those living in East Grimsby. Would City Council consider purchasing the land for park use?
In this specific site, the development process is well underway, and the town has decided to consider cash in lieu for this neighborhood. That's not being said that in other locations, establishing parks and more parks in a development won't be the way we go. With this one being a relatively small parcel of land, it was felt by planning that it just wasn't the way to go. But what we have in town, we have the ribbon of escarpment that cuts through the town, and which is a massive sink of biodiversity. And building off of that, I think, is making wildlife corridors. And I would really like to explore the micro parks, or micro forests is what they're called. And with council trying to make Grimsby the Carolinian capital of Canada, planting Carolinian forest species, I think, would be a really neat way to highlight mini forests, because the Carolinian forest is the most diverse, both in animal species and plant species in Canada, even though it's the smallest. We just completed our Recreation and Parks Master Plan in 2019, and there is a number of initiatives to finishing parks and increasing parks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Question 9. In a study from the University of Toronto in 2019, it was noted that the emissions and pollution near the highway is much larger than initially projected. What is the town doing to mitigate the pollution for the communities and schools near the QEW?
I haven't heard of this study. I'd like to read more on it, because it's unfortunate if someone, whether it's MTO or whatever agency was involved, was using numbers that aren't correct, because public health certainly is something that certainly has come to highlight during this COVID pandemic. And certainly pollutants in the environment, certainly vehicle emissions is something that definitely affects public health. And with people being out more, we need to have the best air quality possible. And one thing that does mitigate emissions from vehicles is the planting of trees. And green space and trees are filters of pollutants. The trees take them in, and many times with most things, the trees actually break them down into harmless compounds. So planting trees, I think, is probably the best initiative to reduce emissions, as well as still, I think it's more of a federal government issue and probably provincial for continuing to make cars that have lower emissions, as well as electric vehicles. And as well, I was sad to see the hydrogen car, Ballard Hydrogen. I was sad to see that being bought up by a larger company and essentially mothballed. So I really think that's the way to go, is technology to reduce pollution from the source.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Question 10. There is no landmark for Grimsby that would make the town more marketable to visitors. Is there any project to have a unique symbol art installation for Grimsby?
There's certainly not an ongoing project, but I think it is something that has great potential. Whether we use a portion of Southward Park, or whether we spread the art installations around the town, I think in tandem with the escarpment and the natural features, the trails, and the lake, I think adding art to it is always a good thing. I'm always been a proponent of the arts, both fine arts and music and drama and everything like that. And it's one thing that I'll go off on a little bit of tangent with arts, but with the new high school coming on stream, the fact that we have the potential to have a 750 seat theater that will be state of the art. It's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing that in 2022. And maybe we can partner with DSBN and have part of the art installation there. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Question 11. Is there a plan to add lights along the promenade at Grimsby on the lake? The area after sunset is in complete darkness.
Yeah, council and town staff are currently working to ensure Grimsby on the lake has access to public lighting, so residents can enjoy the area after sunset safely. Part of the design process in the park is lighting, and the town plans to install lighting along the pathways. And the lights that they are planning to install are called bollard lighting, and the lighting is at about waist height. So it should look really, really neat, and it will certainly enhance safety.
Sounds great. Thank you. Last question. What steps is the town taking to deal with all the people coming from out of town COVID-19 hotspots to crowd public beaches and parks? Is the town concerned about the potential safety threat to its residents caused by this?
Well, certainly everyone at the town is concerned about public safety, and we everyone at the town continues to follow and promote current public health advice, both provincially and at a regional level. And at some point during the pandemic, there has been travel restrictions. These seem to be lifted now. And we understand that Grimsby is a popular place and people are going to come from out of town. And I think the best way we can do it is managing our visitors and make sure that they visit Grimsby in a safe manner, and they have a positive visit to the town. I really think that it's un-Canadian to actually cut people off from, and I'm sure it's probably not even legal, but it I don't think it would be enforceable. So I think we have to embrace our visitors and actually talk to them, and maybe sometimes they need a little nudge to show them where the receptacle containers are. And I think one of the best ways, and certainly during the whole pandemic, and I think it's where the pandemic maybe where things faltered a bit, was communication or lack of communication. I think everything can be solved if we communicate, and I really think we can make it turn it into a positive rather than a negative. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan, for your answers tonight. This concludes the Mayor's Information Night, and I'll hand it back to you for closing remarks.
All right. Well, this was just a lot of fun tonight. It was much different than the one in 2019. I can really hardly wait to have the next one, and I would like it to be attended by the public here at council chambers. And it would be something that actually, quite honestly, I can hardly wait till council gets back into the chambers. And I would really like to see explore the possibilities of council initiating an open mic where people can actually spend the first 10 to 15 minutes of the council meeting actually asking me direct questions on the spot. I really feel confident, and I can certainly give honest answer. Not everyone might like my answer, but it certainly will be honest, and I will try to work with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.